Previously on The Great Ace Attorney. There should be no discrepancy what the witnesses saw. And now back to grunting at people. Hello! This is NicoB. Back with some more The Great Ace Attorney. When we last left off, we got a whole bunch of new mechanics, which were honestly pretty great. I really liked the new jury mechanic and how we managed to overturn it by using their arguments against each other. I don't know, it was just a very clever and really well put together system, I feel like. And it feels so much like a real natural progression to the court system, which I feel like in this series hasn't had a whole lot of changes, like the base core mechanics of the court system. Like we've had additional like little fluff things kind of thrown in there with like the spirit thing, you know, Apollo using his big bulgy eyes to see when people lie, or Athena's crazy little therapy robot thing. But this one just feels so much more natural and less like out there, much more grounded. And I like that honestly a lot more than just kind of like the more ridiculous stuff. And this case has been really good so far. Like I'm super hooked, and I can't wait to see where it's going to go. I am going to be curious to see if we're actually going to get any kind of investigation, or if everything's going to be done in trial here. We still haven't gotten a to be continued, which is kind of weird, especially with the last case in particular. They really were tossing out this to be continues like pretty frequently. This time we had a few instances where it fades to black and it looks like it's about to go to be continued, but then it's like, nah, just kidding. By the way, a couple things I just want to clarify real quick. First off, last episode you may have noticed I did sort of alter the audio some. I was messing around with it, trying to see if I could get everything to sound more balanced, right? Because what I was finding was that Van Zeek's voice is a bit quieter than most of my other voices, so I had to keep going in and raising the volume for it. So I was like, well, maybe if I try compressing the audio some, I can manage to make it even everything out a bit better. And it sort of worked. It did make Van Zeek sound a lot better, but it also made my breathing and any like sounds I make with my mouth a lot more obvious. I had to cut a lot of it out. I don't know if I noticed as much of a difference as I'd hoped I would. It was really weird because it made it actually sound like my Van Zeek's voice. Like it sounded like I stuck my face closer to the microphone, but I really didn't do that. And my other voices sounded almost entirely unchanged. I don't know why that was. I would have thought it would make my other voices sound better, but I think the compression may, because it is, I think it was taking the latter parts and making them quieter, but maybe I was losing some audio quality, and then the quieter parts, like Van Zeek's, made them louder. But it just sounds so much more pronounced with Van Zeek's, like some of you say it almost sounded kind of ASMR. And it did kind of like Van Zeek's is just kind of like whispering in your ear with like, hey, baby, hey, blah, 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 blah. That was an experiment. I'm not really totally satisfied with it, so I might just go back to the way I was doing it before, at least for now. The other thing I want to clarify too is some of you guys may have noticed occasionally in my previously on, I've actually had a bleep for when I drop an F-bomb or something. And I know some of you are like, wait, did Nico just censor that? And why? Especially when I'm dropping F-bombs later in the episodes. So why there? Because YouTube's stupid algorithm thing is basically scanning the first minute and a half of videos for any kind of profanity to tell if it is advertiser friendly or not. From what I can tell, from what I've just been able to gauge myself, if you drop one F-bomb, I seem to be fine, but I think once you start getting 2, 3, or any more than that, then it starts to go off. So, like for example, I mean, my Steins Gate thing, and now back to, it says, you know, and now back to the fucked up history. I literally have an F-bomb there. So I basically have to cut out pretty much any other F-bombs in the first minute and a half. Why is it the first minute and a half that YouTube's scanning it? I don't know. I'm going to bet it has to do with the capabilities of their system. Like, they're not capable of scanning the entirety of their library, every video at all the time. So they just stick with a minute and a half from the start. Is it kind of stupid? Yeah, it's pretty stupid. I also think that intent means something, you know? Like, that's sort of the issue. I fear that YouTube is trying to sort of become just ridiculously, like, milquetoast. Everything's just so bland, no profanity, only good family-friendly crap. And honestly, I think in the spectrum of things, I feel like cursing is like the least offensive kind of offensive content on the site. At least that's my thoughts. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm doing that, because I have been getting hit with some additional dings, and I just wanted to try to avoid that as much as possible. But anyway, last episode, Friday Lambda said, okay, to save you a lot of grief later down the line, heed my advice, dear Nico. While this jury system is fun and new, beware this game. It is based heavily on logic, and as a result, their statements might not always be able to be countered. As a result, sometimes you might need to press them multiple, not just once, times to find a statement you can work with. The game will introduce the concept of pressing statements, but it doesn't do a good job for preparing you for pressing a juror multiple times. So be forewarned, Nico, the jury might need more pushing than you're used to in order to crack them down and change the verdict. Please don't assume that one press and a new statement appears that it will magically work, because it doesn't always. It'll be sad watching you get frustrated before realizing the issue is the game sometimes. Rarely, if I recall correctly, requires a juror to be continuously pressed to be able to succeed. Naturally, you'll never know when this will happen, just that it will happen at some point in the future. Oh, hey, Friday Land, I really appreciate you sharing that with me. That's something I probably would not have picked up on. I mean, they've done it occasionally with the regular witnesses that come up to the stand that you press, and occasionally you would figure out like, okay, I just press it again just to get some more information, but that might not have been as easy to figure out with this group of people. So Friday Lambert, thank you so much for your bit of advice. Definitely save me some headache down the line, and it's for that reason you are our comment of the day. But okay, so we've determined that one of the witnesses owed Megundal money, so he made up some of his testimony to make it, or maybe embellished it some to make it sound worse than it was. So they did confirm that there was blood on both of his hands. So now he decided to call Mr. Megundal up himself to give his own testimony. So
now the trial is to resume. Defendant, have you been listening to the trial thus far?
Of course, my lord.
We seek the answers to 2 questions. First, does this so-called third party in the omnibus really exist? And second, if this person does exist, why did you withhold this information from the authorities?
Dear me, how impressive you all are. I can't hide anything from you.
what is the meaning of this witness?
To tell you the truth, I've been unsure whether to mention it or not.
Mr. Megundal!
Van Zieks is not pleased.
Well, it's just as the good barrister says. It's true that there was another person inside the omnibus that night.
There was a third passenger.
And I let that passenger escape from the crime scene.
But... What? Why?
It's too late for such a weak excuse, Cousin Megundal.
I'm really very sorry, Lord Berg Van Zieks. Why did I not tell the police as soon as I was arrested? Honestly speaking, my reason for doing so may be a bit questionable.
And that reason was?
I didn't want to get an innocent youth involved in this incident.
What's this?
If the police knew of her presence, she would surely be suspected, arrested, and maybe even brought to court. I wanted to keep that from happening. One can't wound the hearts of youth when they have their whole futures ahead of them, right?
Van Zieks light.
Yes, I'm not buying that for a second.
Then, who was this innocent youth you speak of?
Well, I wouldn't know.
You would know?
After all, I met her by chance in the omnibus that night.
Iggiati.
Iggiati. It's Iggiati. That's what you get. You guys are giving me so much. You're like, you're not pronouncing the G. There's a G in there, Nico. I'm sorry, okay? I just like trying to imitate their funny sounds, okay? Don't judge me.
There's not a single reason for us to trust this man's fairy tales. The prosecution asserts the defendant's remarks are not worth listening to.
By the way, you guys seem to really been enjoying the Van Zieks voice, so I'm glad. I'm glad you guys are liking that one. All these British people help me bring out some brand new voices, which is always a pleasure, you know? I always like being challenged like that. Fortunately, at least to have the British accent relatively down.
Perhaps that young lady is, even now, watching over my trial from the audience of this courtroom.
Oh.
Huh?
Smoke! Ah, fire! There's a fire! Smoke's running away! Go get them! So gotta catch all smoke!
What's going on? What is going on? Naruhodō, we're in danger! Get down, close to the ground! Get down!
She seems to toss the shit out of Naruhodō to the floor. I can do it myself! Ah!
Bailiffs, don't let the defendant escape. Secure the omnibus.
The court declares an emergency recess. The bailiffs will capture the defendant and assist in evacuating the courtroom. Oh no, it's gonna go to be continued now, isn't it?
We were then forced out of the courtroom by the bailiffs. Everyone wanted to get out first. It sent it into mayhem. As they tried to figure out what was going on, the trial was momentarily suspended.
Oh, we absolutely are. Well, guys, that was a good episode, wasn't it? Let's go home. 10 minutes, right? 10 solid minutes. All right, well, guys, I'll see you next time. I'm just kidding. Damn it, though. I was that close. With that fade out from before, I figured... Okay, well, whatever. Fine, it's fine. Okay, we're still on with the trial, though, according to that save file, so... It's not like we're running out and like, let's go investigate while the courtroom's burning up. So someone tried to, and is now trying to, help Megundal escape.
February 18th, 2:52 p.m. Old Bailey, defendant lobby.
What on earth just happened?
Naruhodō! Think I have a grasp of the situation.
Suzuto!
It appears that a very potent smoke grenade was detonated.
Smoke grenade? Oh, like those smoke bombs Ninja use?
They are verifying the safety of the court now. Preparations to resume the trial are underway.
Just who would do something like that?
Someone attempting to escape from the Crown Court was captured by the bailiff.
Attempting to escape? That's one way to put it.
Indeed, it was a young girl about 15 years of age.
Okay. It's interesting because it seemed like Megundal knew she was there, right?
Perhaps he's in the audience right now.
He even looked over into the audience like he knew that they were there. Why'd you just draw a shit ton of attention to yourself? You probably would have been fine, girl, if you just hadn't done anything. I mean, right? It would be like, go and randomly search through the audience to find some random girl.
A young girl? Could that be the third passenger Mr. Megundal was talking about?
I'm sure there's probably some reason behind it, though.
I believe so too.
I knew it. That third party really did exist. Oh, whatever happened to Mr. Megundal? There's so much I have to ask him, but he hasn't returned to this lobby.
Seems he was summoned to the prosecutor's office to be pressed for information.
Okay, I was like, he didn't actually run away, did he? That's not gonna help his case.
The young girl's accompanying him as well.
Just who is she? Why did she come to this trial in the first place?
Maybe she's related to him in some way then, like daughter, granddaughter, niece or something. Maybe someone he feels that he needs to protect.
She knew it'd be risky, and I doubt there was anything to gain from doing so.
Yeah, exactly.
I also have one issue I'm curious of.
What would that be?
It's the 20 pence.
Huh? Why?
According to what the coachman Beppo has testified. On that night, the fee was at 5 pence per person, with 4 passengers on the ride. So, the total is 20 pence. The sum matches up perfectly.
However, here we have a 5th customer appearing.
Once again, the sum of 20 makes no sense.
I think it's clear that someone was hiding in that little hidden compartment that was in the seat. I'm trying to think if it would be the girl then, or Megundal himself. Because we determined that there was, they saw that there were 2 people sitting there, right, in the coach. And we determined that we thought, oh, Mr. Megundal was over on this other seat that where we couldn't see him. But I think he, like, they would have noticed him in there, right? I think he was sitting on the opposite side, and he might have been hiding himself in there. I'm wondering if maybe he was trying to hitch a ride. Maybe he isn't actually as rich as he appears to be. Maybe he spent all the money that he's, like, acquired or something. I don't know, like, I'm just trying to think of, like, why would he be hiding himself in there if it wasn't trying to, attack or kill somebody? Maybe he was just trying to hitch a ride because he really doesn't have any money.
That really is strange.
Exactly, that's why 20 pence, right? There's a passenger in there they weren't aware of, so it was probably hidden in that hidden compartment. And I think it was Mr. Megundal. Attorney, head to the Crown Court at once. The preparation for the trial to resume is complete. It will resume in 5 minutes.
Got it, British Larry. I'll head over immediately.
Jolly good.
In any case, I believe this girl will take the witness stand. I assume they're the contents of her testimony. We'll determine the outcome of this trial.
Shall we go in, Suzuto? Let's.
All right. See who we're dealing with. Is it gonna be a kawaii anime girl?
February 18th, 1 o'clock p.m. Old Bailey, Crown Court. Oh my god, I see a little jolly, possibly tomboyish girl there with some braids.
Oh yeah.
That young girl next to Mr. Megundal. Looks like she's the one who caused the ruckus earlier.
Now then, the court is back in session for the trial of Cosley Megundal. Lord Van Zeeks,
Yes, my lord.
My lord.
could you please explain the origin of that strange smoke from earlier?
We believe that a military-grade smoke grenade was detonated here.
Military grade? Why is that being used here?
The one who attempted to slip out of the courthouse through the smoke has been caught. The culprit stands right there.
Miss, state your name. Were you the one behind the confusion caused by the smoke grenade earlier? Why in heaven's name did you do that?
Excuse me, may I, Lord Judge?
What is it, defendant?
It might be better for me to provide the explanation in regards to why this girl is here and why she tried to escape. Everything is related to what transpired on the night of the incident, really.
Very well then. The court orders the defendant to testify. Speak in regards to this incident in its relation to this young girl.
I wonder what exactly happened during the incident that night. If only I could have heard about all of it before the trial started!
And why does this stupid band keep falling down my arm?
Okay, relation to the crime.
That night, I had seated myself on the back seat inside the coach. There I nodded off to sleep. Sometime later, I was woken up by an abrupt, loud sound accompanied by a small scream. In front of my eyes laid a man. I helped him up and sat him on the seats. Though trembling with shock, I investigated the area where the scream had come from. To my surprise, it was a young girl hidden there, curled up tight and quiet as a mouse.
Curl up tight, quiet as a mouse, okay. I'm guessing means the hidden compartment. I'm gonna have to press him on that.
I'm not sure if I completely understand, but essentially that young girl, she was riding in the omnibus when the crime occurred.
You are correct. As the good barrister asserted earlier, there was indeed a fifth passenger on that omnibus.
Naruhodō over there still doing his face.
Very well. It appears it's about time to hear the attorney's cross-examination then. Attorney, are you prepared?
Yes, my lord! Yes, my lord! The judge expects me to clear this up. But I have absolutely no idea what's going on here.
I know everything.
No, you don't!
Yes, I do. Chucks the holy grail at Naruhodō. Ah! All right. I'm gonna go ahead and just top to the end there. Where was she curled up? To my surprise, there was a young girl curled up tight and quiet as a mouse.
Mata! She was hiding in the trunk?
Yes, indeed. That's what I saw. When I caught sight of her cowering there, in the dim light of the lamp.
Wait, did he actually say trunk? No, he didn't, but I guess I'm just making the assumption.
Well, I surely thought that my heart was going to stop.
Something about all this seems really off.
At any rate, I dragged her out of there. Then, I set her on the seat opposite me, intent on hearing what she had to say.
So if we're saying then that he was actually the pastor sitting there and she was the one in the seat, were they okay? Then were they planning something? Were they planning to like rob the coachman or something? Was he smuggling her somewhere?
The seat opposite you?
Yes, right next to the dead chap who was already occupying a spying spot.
You see this young lady right next to the victim's corpse.
As I believe I mentioned earlier, due to the nature of my work, much to my dismay, I have had crosshairs trained on me. Therefore, it was of the utmost importance for me to learn just who exactly this girl was. But then, as I was speaking with her, I heard a gentleman scream overhead.
That must have been two pastors on the roof, I suppose?
Indeed, that is what I am led to believe. They likely saw the stabbed gent lined up next to what appeared to be a young girl.
So you're saying that what the two on the roof saw was not you, but instead they saw the victim sitting next to this young lady.
Oh, okay. He's saying that, but wait, there was an image they were showing where it looked like they were two people sitting right next to each other, but he hadn't been stabbed yet. But he's saying he wasn't the one sitting next to him. I mean, he was earlier, but he wasn't the second time.
That is exactly right. Because, you see, I was seated in the back, which cannot be seen from the skylight.
I see. The defendant does have a somewhat compact physique. I suppose it's a stretch to say this girl could have been mistaken for him.
That was when, upon hearing the gentleman scream from the roof, the coachman stopped the omnibus.
How are you feeling, Naruhodō?
As attorney, but my own client's testimony surprised me just as much as everyone else. Can't help but feel as if I failed it as an attorney somehow.
It's not your fault. We didn't have much time to talk to Mr. Megundal after all. Regardless, what we can do is get all the information out of him that we can.
Why does someone like this have to happen after just arriving in London this morning?
Naruhodō, now's the time to be feeling sorry for yourself. Don't be Susan tells you.
How did you?
I can read your blue thoughts.
All right, so just go ahead and keep pressing them in. Okay, then I see myself in the back seat inside the coach. They're not off to sleep.
When you got on the omnibus, was anyone else on board?
No, no one else was inside the coach. No, up on the rooftop seats.
But no, we saw. He's saying he was in the back seat. I swear that didn't we see earlier where the guys were talking? We saw like a little flashback, and we saw two people sitting right next to each other, but the guy hadn't been stabbed yet. Unless that was just a hypothetical situation, or I'm misremembering.
In other words, the defendant was the first passenger.
Indeed, I was merely sitting comfortable on the back seats inside the omnibus.
By back seats, do you mean?
Why, as you yourself so expertly pointed out just now, my good barrister, I mean the seat directly across from where the gentleman who'd been stabbed was sitting. It was the most comfortable spot for me, you see. After all, you can't be seen through the skylight from there.
Okay. So my lair was woken up by an abrupt loud sound accompanied by a small scream.
A loud noise and a scream?
It was, yes. That was quite a remarkable thud. I believe it was much like the sound of a man falling over.
That must have been the sound of the victim, Mr. Mortar, falling over after being stabbed.
I was asleep at the time, you see, so I can't say for sure. Furthermore, when I awoke, not another soul did I see in the coach, save for the gentleman laying on the floor before me.
There was no one else in there. Yet at the time you said you heard a scream, right?
Perhaps that scream arose from the rooftop seating area.
No, I heard that scream from inside the coach. However, at that moment, the scream was the least of my worries. For you see, I could hardly believe what I saw before my own eyes.
From my eyes laid a man. I helped him up and sat him on the seats.
You set the victim up on the seat?
Yes, sir. On the seat right across from me. I'd realized he was dead, you see. I felt that it would be disrespectful to simply leave the poor soul on the floor like that. After all, I'm a sympathetic man, you know.
Quite a curious story, defendant.
Well now, whatever might you mean, Prosecutor Van Zeeks?
If a dead man dropped before his very eyes, a sane person will call the coachman at once. Were they your average, principled Londoner, that is?
As you well know, I hold a rather malign profession.
You're referring to your business as a salary lender, correct? A loan shark.
There are those who would borrow money from me, only to be ungrateful and set out to kill me. So the last thing I want would be to get wrapped up in such a nasty affair.
Then you were just going to leave the victim's body like that?
Heavens me, of course not. I had intended to report the incident to the police. I simply wished to ensure the circumstances were crystal clear before doing so.
The circumstances?
Indeed, I thought it a good idea beforehand to investigate anything that struck me as strange. Like where that faint scream I heard really came from, for instance. That would strike anyone as strange, wouldn't you say?
Scream he heard alongside the victim falling down, huh?
Though trembling with shock, I investigated the area where the scream had come from.
Excuse me, but what do you mean by that? What do you mean? Correct me if I'm wrong, but were you and the victim the only ones in the coach? Correct. At first glance, in any case. At first glance? Yes, indeed. Imagine my shock when I heard that tiny little scream. And it came from directly beneath my rear.
What in the...
Beneath your rear?
Okay. It's sort of, because I kind of went out of order when I pressed it, it kind of made that part a little confusing, because it's sort of, I think it sort of assumed that I had pressed beforehand, because they said, okay, so, and this girl came from the trunk. I was like, oh, I guess we're just like saying, assuming in that, but here we go. Here's where we actually say it.
Right then and there, I lifted up the seat cushion. As it turned out, under the seat was a trunk.
Naruhodō, you can take a look at the omnibus too.
Come to think of it, it was submitted into evidence, right?
Maybe now would be a good time to give it another good look.
Anyway, after that, I went ahead and peeked inside the trunk.
Enough! This is an awkward place to end it here.
I was gonna look inside the trunk and
Shut up! That's enough! We've already done the last part first, because Nico did this in a weird order. The situation is now perfectly clear. However, we now have a fundamental question. Just who exactly is this girl?
I'm told that her name is Gina Lestrade. She hides in the places where people gather, then pounces out and steals their wallets. She is what you would call a pickpocket. What?
This little girl is a pickpocket? Oh my goodness! Order! Order! Do you take issue with this claim, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, answer me at once!
Oh, fuck, she got a gun!
Oh my god, I'm purple now.
Oh my god, if the smoke dissipated, his whole beard was purple now.
I look like Willy Wonka now. What the doodle? Heavens, what in blazes are you?
She's already gone.
Ah! The girl just disappeared.
Oh.
What are you looking at?
She's over here.
If you're looking for me, I'm right here. I'm right here, boy!
When did you get over there?
Was there any point in moving like that?
And I know all about what you adults are thinking. This dirty Maltula messed up and got caught on the jaw. She went mental, stabbed that other bloke. Ain't that right?
That's not true. A courthouse is a place where we seek the truth. We want to make sure.
Eat lead! Eat green!
Oh! Didn't even faze me, bitch. That's right. I'm cold as ice, and oh crap, she's gone again.
Don't forget that I'm a pro. My livelihood is dependent on these quick fingers. Only cowards use knives. Pickpockets probably won't stand for that. Sample it. What you gonna
But it's not cowardly at all to use that thing filled with smoke, right?
This gun? I picked this up from a bag at the omnibus station the other day. Pretty little thing, don't you think? I think I like me a bit of pink.
You picked that up at the station? Who the fuck was carrying it? The army?
Don't aim that at me.
Eventually I'm going to drink this, I swear. So, you were riding on the omnibus then?
It's all right. You'll tell them the truth, won't you?
Or maybe she works for him.
Oh, maybe she does. Maybe she works for him to get his money back. I bet that is it.
The victim was owed money, right, to Mr. Megundal. So maybe he went on the coach, had her hide beneath him, and then planned for her to jump out and steal the money and then run off, but then she'd give the money or some of the money back to him to help compensate for it. But I think he would do that, but he still would probably still ask them for the money that they owe them, right? And not, so that he would like stack that on top of the money that they already owe them.
Making extra profit.
Yeah, that's right.
then the court shall acknowledge this girl, Gina Lestrade, as a new witness. As such, we order you to testify. Speak in regards to what transpired on the omnibus on the night of the incident.
All right, I got you. I'll show you what's what.
Okay. So here we go. What the girl saw.
As always, I sneaked in before the horse was hitched to the coach. But I couldn't get any business. It was really an awful night. It was pitch dark in my little hiding spot. My sister couldn't see nothing. But then suddenly there was a loud noise. Of course, it was enough to make me scream a little. After that, this old geezer here found me, but he let me get away.
He let you get away?
Why, defendant, did you allow this girl to flee to begin with?
The reason is quite simple. I knew she could not possibly be the culprit, you see.
What do you mean?
As I said earlier, I was sitting on top of a little hiding spot, the trunk.
Let us make sure of it ourselves. In we go, all of us. Everybody, the whole courthouse is getting inside this little thing.
It's the very seat I was seated on in the night of the incident.
This hiding spot would be the space beneath this seat, yes? Indeed, young girl will be able to fit and hide in here.
But on that night, she was unable to exit from the trunk. After all, I was sitting on it the whole time.
Oh.
So, you see, I let her escape. I fear that revealing that girl would draw suspicion towards her, and she'd be arrested. I did not wish to involve this girl, but with a future ahead of her, with incidents as cruel as this.
But as a result, all suspicion was set on you instead.
That is nothing but a trifle. I know that I'm innocent, so why should I be afraid? I was willing to put that innocence on the line in order to save this poor little girl.
Unbelievable. Oh, what an upright man.
Milord! There's no way such a noble man could be the culprit. To think we ever doubted you. Honk!
Almost there.
If you interpret it with cold, hard logic, then it is clear it was correct.
Oh shit, her too? That's it, isn't it? Oh wait, no, there's one more.
Amazing!
Who's left? Yeah, who is left?
All six jurors have voted not guilty.
Oh, that was it! That was it! So, I win?
Naruhodō, this means...
This means what?
This means that we won!
We won? It doesn't feel real, even when you say it outright.
Idiotic.
What the what? Whoa! Wow! Whoa! Van Zeeks, you're kind of flexible. Wow! Okay, that's definitely a new one. See him banging with fists, with gavels, with whips, with fingers. This guy just, Van Zeek's like, no, fuck it. My fucking foot. Ah!
How impudent of me to thrash my steel heel about like a brute. I plead for your forgiveness.
My boot, lick my feet.
This is truly it. This is the single greatest weakness of the courtrooms of the Great British Empire. A legal system which occasionally has mere emotion countervailing evidence or logic. Motion? Even this very testimony reveals the defendant's true colors.
What do you mean by true colors?
Scotland Yard has never, nor will it ever, overlook any minor details in its investigation. When Scotland Yard investigated the omnibus, naturally they inspected the inside of that trunk. This trunk was full of the coachman's belongings. The report written by the investigative officer clearly says as much.
What did you say?
Someone tampered with the scene. In a ploy to support this false testimony, someone spirited the items away.
What?
Oh.
Order! Order!
It's true, we investigated it earlier, right? And we saw that there was stuff in there. So let's head back in there one more time. So, I mean, I know we saw it in that cutscene, but I want to make sure if when we investigate it ourselves, it is. There isn't stuff in there. But there was before.
Trunk seems to be empty. There's nothing inside at all. What is this feeling in the back of my mind?
Interesting. Wow. So I guess in that distraction earlier, someone, probably a girl, ran in there, removed all the stuff, and ran back out again. But fast. Interesting.
I cannot believe such a thing to be possible.
Of course, I must admit the art's culpability in mistakenly allowing that window of opportunity. However, when I had the omnibus transported into the Old Bailey this morning, the trunk was definitely not empty.
His eyes.
So then, Japanese boy,
Oh, me?
the omnibus itself was presented to the court as evidence. As an attorney, should have long since inspected it, both inside and out. What was inside of that trunk, I believe you know, of course.
My good barrister. I'm sure you understand. Yes.
Mr. Megundal?
By all means, go ahead and say it. Tell them that Lord Van Zeek's words are no more than baseless accusations.
Interesting. He shows he really does not have a whole lot of... I mean, assuming this guy was really innocent, he does not have a whole lot of confidence in either, I guess, Naruhodō or his own case. I think it's because he's clearly not in it. There's something he's not innocent of, right?
Well, what are your thoughts, attorney?
Oh boy, this is a moment here.
How should I answer this? What should I say about the contents of the trunk? I didn't look there. It was empty.
No, I've got to be truthful, all right? Good old Naruhodō. He wouldn't lie.
As an attorney, I don't know if I'm in a position to say this, but as I recall, when I first investigated the trunk, there was definitely something inside. That's what I think.
What?
Barrister? What do you think you're saying? Are you trying to betray me?
Even Six is like, oh, hey.
Well, this is surprising. You're standing as the witness's attorney. Yet, you're spouting words which go directly against his well-being.
What exactly is righteous for an attorney? I still don't know myself. But when you stand here in court, you should never lie about what you remember. That's how I feel.
How amusing.
You better watch your words, barrister. Mr. Megundal, be very sure to remember that you stand here to represent me. Besides, my memories can be such unclear things, but the truth speaks loud and clear. Look at it any way you want. It is empty, is it not? Do you see now? You must accept that your memories are mistaken. Something feels wrong about this.
Very well. Let's hear the juror's thoughts. The trunk is meant to hold maintenance equipment for the omnibus. According to the guild's regulations, should contain exactly that. Thus, that night was no different. I trust Beppo. Celebrity and the pickpocket are both lying.
Oh.
Damn it, I almost forgot. Rich people never play by the rules. Huh? This can't be happening. That testimony was nothing but a trick, a ruse.
afraid that I must agree.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're tied up again.
If you interpret it with cold hard logic, then it is clear it was correct.
You're saying the same thing as before! As you can see, my lord, you cannot justify a not guilty verdict at this point in time.
Very well.
Well, hey, what the heck? I had to get an overwhelming majority. He doesn't have the majority. We're halfway down the middle. You should have to get one more.
Court believes that a cross-examination is in order.
Okay.
Attorney, court orders you to begin your cross-examination of these witnesses.
Understood. This is too much. Our momentum turned against us, just like that. The rumors about Prosecutor Van Zeeks were no joke.
Although technically I did kind of help him there, but, you know, whatever. I should get some brownie points for that, too.
Yes, you have my thanks for helping me get rid of this drivel.
I'll take it. All right, what the girl saw. Okay, as always, I sneaked in before the horse was hitched to the coach.
In other words, you were already in the omnibus before it departed, correct?
Yeah, that's right. I sneaked in to steal, so beware for me to pay to get in, yeah?
That's for sure. What kind of defense attorney would pay to defend someone?
Defense, please do not be swayed by the twisted logic of this pickpocket.
Anyway, we'll see the mystery of the coach fare has been resolved. Yes. Four patrons paid 5 pence each. The coachman's profit is 20 pence. The 5th patron, if you will, rode free of charge.
You see, the coachman will always eat up at the pub before the final trip every time. That was when I started sleeping in the omnibus. Makes sense, don't it?
However, the trunk under the seat you claim to have hidden yourself in was in fact full of maintenance tools for the coach, was it not?
Yeah, brushes, buckets, and other odds and ends are always stored in there. Usually, I just take all the stuff out and toss it in the corner or something. None of the customers on board ever pay attention to it, surprisingly.
However, when the police rushed to the scene upon being notified of the incident, indeed, the coachman's tools were still inside the trunk.
Well, don't ask me about it. I wouldn't have a clue. I just piled up the coach's stuff and hid myself in the trunk. That's all.
Very well. Now then, please continue with your testimony.
But I couldn't get any business was really an awful night.
What did you mean about not getting any business?
Oh my god, we are getting a lot of what do you mean counters today. I mean, what do you mean, what did you mean? All right, I'm gonna count that one, all right? I know it's like, well, it's the past version of do, but it's, okay, come on, that is absolutely, it's the same fucking thing.
Well, usually in an omnibus, the window's down at some point.
Just a moment, please. What do you mean by the wind dies down?
Oh, that's just a phrase we use. That means all the customers are left, and the coach is all quiet like.
So when the wind dies down, that's your chance to leave your hiding spot.
Pretty much, for that night. That old bloke was sitting in his seat the whole time. You know what else? He was fast asleep. I was completely shut in.
So, what you're saying is, you were inside the trunk under the seat the whole time until the incident occurred. Is that correct?
Yup. Ain't that right, mister?
Yes, indeed. Even I surely would have woken up had I been pushed off the cushion when it was lifted.
So it would have been impossible for this girl, Gina, to have committed the crime.
It was pitch dark, my little hiding spot, I seriously couldn't see nothing. Nothing!
So you didn't get a good look at the scene inside of the omnibus then?
Nah, so like normally I would have pushed up the cushion with me head. And then I'd scope out my prey in secrecy.
Your prey?
The cushion on the seat I'd hid myself in is harder than the one on the opposite end. Thanks to that, not a lot of people choose to sit on it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
Well, that night, this bloke here just sat on the seat throughout the whole ride.
Just because of that, you couldn't see the inside of the coach, right?
To be frank, I ain't in the dark spaces. It made me feel all claustrophobic like. But I must set myself there in order to make sure I wouldn't be found.
That being the case, you'd think you'd give up being a pickpocket. By the looks of things, she has her own troubles as it is.
Anyway, I was right scared, but I had no other choice but to be still as possible.
Okay, then suddenly there was a loud noise. Of course, it was enough to make me scream a little.
Could that loud noise have been the sound of the person falling down on the floor?
I'm pretty sure that's what I thought it was. Can't really remember. Either way, I was startled.
And before you could stop yourself, you let out a shriek.
Then, all of a sudden, the cushion on me ankle ladder.
That must have been when Mr. Megundal was helping the fallen victim back up, right?
Or perhaps it was when he got up from his seat in order to stab the victim sitting across from him.
Witness, at that time, did you happen to see what had happened with your own eyes?
I did. When I pushed up the cushion with my head and gave a little gander through the opening, it looked like the old bloke was sitting the other bloke back up on his seat. That lines up with Mr. Megundal's testimony. But then suddenly, it looked back towards me. All instinctive-like. I tried to shrink back down.
After that, this old geezer here found me, but he let me get away.
When Mr. Megundal found you, did he force you out of your hiding spot?
I was right scared, I was. He set me on the opposite seat.
That was where the victim, Mr. Mortar, was sitting, right?
Yeah, a knife was stabbed in him, and he was bleeding like a sieve. At one point, when the coach shook suddenly, the body fell on me.
Oh.
Ooh, how dreadful. That was when I got blood on my hands, and then I conked right out.
Blood on both hands. Something two on the seated on the roof saw.
Oh.
Then you spoke with Mr. Megundal, correct?
He asked me a bunch of questions. Stuff like my name was and why I was hiding. Then I heard a bloke's voice coming from above the omnibus.
That would have been the two men seated on the roof, wouldn't it?
I didn't want them to see my face, so I didn't look up at them. Then, when the coach stopped, the old geezer pointed at the seat and said, "Quickly, hide in here and help you get away." Moments ago, all 6 jurors were in agreement and over a not guilty verdict.
Only for a single incident, though.
Perhaps there's no denying that their feelings are shifting. So if we can just find a decisive clue in this testimony, this point in time will win our not guilty verdict for sure.
Yeah, pretty sure you're right. And yet, something's really bugging me. I just can't quite put my finger on what it is.
Oh, hey, come back here to re-examine again. There's actually a bloodstain on the floor. I didn't examine this the first time. Was this here before?
It's a bloodstain, isn't it?
Something the matter?
No, it's just this bloodstain really stands out. And yet, Prosecutor Van Zieks hasn't said a word about it.
It's true. It struck me as a little bit odd.
I'm getting a really bad feeling about this. Just what is going on?
I don't think I saw that before either.
I'm scuffing up, but these seats are deceptively stiff. If two gentlemen were to sit side by side here, that would be all that would be able to fit.
Since English women have such elegant clothing, they would have trouble climbing up to the roof. They'd probably be sitting here.
Japanese kimono wouldn't be much different. We must have it rough.
Wait, I'm really struggling with this one. I'm not seeing it. I thought I pressed everything in her testimony. I'm just not seeing what the issue is. Maybe I need to go back and re-press one of the earlier statements. They've done this in previous games where you have to, once you press something at the end or something else, you go back and press something from earlier and it switches it. Oh, what? What the fuck? This time he did remark now. What? He didn't do that before? Did he? I didn't miss it somehow, did I?
I ain't in the dark spaces. Made me feel all claustrophobic like.
I was thinking, I was like, God, I really do not feel like I have anything that I can solve here. I swear, like, I don't remember him doing anything, but maybe I somehow missed it. But if it wasn't there, why do you suddenly change it now? Why is he, like, she's saying the exact same thing she just said before.
I ain't in the dark spaces that make me feel all claustrophobic like.
May I ask you a question, Mr. Megundal? Ah, I beg your pardon. What is it, my good barrister?
Do you recall the events as Miss Lestrade described in her testimony? You appear to have been lost in thought.
Ah, no. While I was listening to her, I was struck by what a horrible sight it must have been for the poor girl. In truth, I too have these memories. In my youth, I was afraid of the dark.
Well, everyone was afraid of the dark once.
I'm still afraid of the dark, though. Don't tell them, Susato! I'm gonna tell everybody, Naruto! Dang it, Susato! At the time, to make up for my lack of vision, I would focus my hearing so that no sound would elude me.
Now that I think of it, I might have been listening carefully too.
That means... Could you have heard something? Did you hear any strange noises?
No, not really. All I could hear was the sound of the old geezer's coat blowing off.
I don't, you know, I know you guys, one of you guys said earlier that you had to press people multiple times. I thought you were just referring to the jurors. Were you also referring to this maybe too? It just seems weird because nothing changed. I guess maybe, did I glean some more information? But like, it's not like when I went back there, her testimony was any different. I could even fast forward through all the dialogue, except when I hit that point, suddenly he giggled. That just seemed really sort of weird. Like, why did he not laugh the first time when she said that exact same line?
Well, it would seem I've done a terrible misdeed to this sweet young lady.
Oh, that's a shame. If only she heard something strange, it could have been a helpful clue.
Yeah, it really could have.
Is conch blowing off? Like him talking?
Is there anything wrong with Gina's testimony just now?
Yes.
My lord! Mr. Lestrade's testimony just now is incredibly important.
Important, but according to the witness's earlier remarks, she didn't hear a single thing.
And that exactly is what is so important. That's right. It might be important.
I can't say that I understand this black-clad Asian attorney's train of thought. But either way, witness, Gina Lestrade, please append your latest remark to your testimony.
Huh? A pen? What do you mean like that? What do you mean like? Don't be using hard words on me. I won't get what you're trying to say.
Good grief. Charlie Brown.
So I listened to what was going on in the out, and all I could hear was snoring.
Snoring. Oh, this old conch snoring. I see. Press her on that.
So the whole time after getting in the coach, you listening to everything.
Well, I don't know if I'd say the whole time.
Huh?
When I first got in the truck, there was nobody else around. So I lifted up the cushion and looked around the coach room there. When I saw that geezer get in the coach, I sank back into the truck.
Then Mr. Megundal sat down on top of your head.
Uh-huh, what a bloomin' thought, right? Then I just spent the whole time listening and doing whatever I could.
Oh my!
I was planning on skedaddling as soon as I had the bloke get off. But the coach just kept stopping and starting it over, and I ain't ever heard the door open once. All I could hear was the sound of the old geezer's coat blowing off.
Same with G's testimony just now.
She's saying, oh, here we go. But then how could you have heard the giant thud? It's contradictory. This is how you do it.
Miss Lestrade, your testimony just now, it contains a glaring contradiction.
What?
A contradiction? My word.
Indeed. It would appear our Asian exchange student has noticed that much.
Prosecutor Van Zeeks, did he notice as well? Was he testing me?
Defense, we request that you present evidence so that you name a suspect.
Yes, my lord.
Now, reveal to us this contradiction you've discovered.
That night, when Gina was hiding in the omnibus, she says she heard nothing other than Mr. Megundal snoring. Woo! I sound my butt cheeks getting smacked. However, there's something else that could have produced an audible noise.
It would be present person.
Defense will present its thoughts on the matter. That night, Mr. Lestrade heard something inside the omnibus. It would have been very strange if she didn't hear something related to this person.
This guy here screamed. Oh shit, I fucked up, didn't I?
It would seem our Asian friend has heard some phantom noise.
Fuck! Didn't he scream? Oh. Fuck! Oh, no, not his scream. Cause he raised... Boom! Whoops. No, I'm supposed to present the dead guy, the guy who got stabbed. Because she'd already stuck her head out by that point.
Whoopsie doodle. Try again, dummy.
Alright, smack my cheeks again. Oh, God, okay, I gotta really stop doing that.
Dum da dum dum dum.
Alright, try again.
This dead guy!
Thrice-fired mortar.
That's right. The sound that she should have heard was the sound of the victim entering the omnibus.
Oh. Him entering the omnibus? I guess you say she couldn't hear anyone enter or leave, but I kind of figured that she meant, how could she hear him die? She heard a big thud, right?
Order! Attorney, what is the meaning of this?
Although I guess maybe that one was loud enough that she could hear it, but she just says she didn't hear anyone coming or going, right?
Mrs. Straw, there's something that I want to confirm with you. You were the first one to enter the omnibus. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was already on board while the coachman was having a munch at the pub.
Then the next person who boarded was Mr. Megundal, right?
Yes, when I boarded, there was nobody inside the coach. At least nobody that I could see.
And nobody else boarded with you. Is that right, Mr. Megundal?
That's correct. I make a habit of riding the bus alone, you see.
Plus, when I picked it out through the cushions, that old geezer was boarding all alone.
After that, you say the omnibus stopped several times, but you never heard the sound of the door opening. No mistake so far, right?
Right? I was on high alert. If that door had opened, I would have definitely, I wouldn't have missed it.
Explain to me just one thing. When exactly could the victim have boarded the omnibus? The victim's corpse was found inside the coach after all. In other words, Miss Lestrade, your testimony is contradictory.
You what? You what, mate?
I remember funny she said that.
You what, mate?
Correct. This little pickpocket's testimony holds a major contradiction.
Lord Van Zeeks.
I thought so. The contradiction in her testimony didn't escape the prosecutor either.
It looks like I owe the defense my thanks.
What are you talking about?
You've made it all clear now. This witness and her entire testimony. You can't put stock in any of it. She's just spouting convenient lies.
Alright, Bernie, you ready to head back in? Ready to head back in? Come on.
No, Daddy. I stay. I live out here now. I am an outdoor dog now.
Of course you are. This is what she does when I was like, I'm trying to get her to come back in, and I'll pull her some, and then she'll just go.
No. I'm gonna plop myself down like a big old potato. There we go. I stay, Daddy.
Yeah, you're a little stinker sometimes, aren't you?
No, I'm a good girl. I'm a very good girl. I just like sitting out here because it's nice and toasty. Feels good on my fur.
I know. But Daddy needs to go in and do stuff. I'm not leaving you out here to toast yourself to death.
Okay.